Hi, friends. I'm happy to be here today and thank you for coming along to check on my YouTube channel. Today it's a very important day because I am very disturbed about something that is really happening. How do you explain the situation of a country that is so blessed with all manners of resources, but yet cannot cater for the youth of this country? How can you explain the situation in a country where education is not made a priority, where healthcare is not forthcoming, where medical care is only for the exclusive rich? Even at that, it's still not available to the best standards that you can think of. How can you explain a country where roads are not available? How can you explain a country where power is not available? How can you explain a country that is growing at a very high rate, yet there is no provision to accommodate the number of population that is growing every day? How can you explain a country where the educational sector is in total collapse? How can you explain a country where the medical and the health sector is in total collapse? How can you explain a country where the teeming youth, thousands and millions of youth, are jobless, frustrated, devastated? How can you explain a country where the political elites are milking the resources of the nation to satisfy their personal ego? How can you explain a country where the leaders are seeing themselves as gods, where the followers are wallowing in poverty? How can you explain a country where everyone that had an opportunity to get into government is only there to steal, to amass wealth at the detriment of the service to humanity? How can you explain a country that claims to be great, yet impoverishing its people by the various Draconian policies that are being meted out to the people? How can you explain a country when politicians only remember the masses when it is time for electioneering campaign? How can you explain a country where politicians move from one party to the other as if there are no principles guiding political parties anymore? Membership. Today, I bring the cries of the youths of various countries in Africa that are suffering in silence. They suffer to go to the university, they come out of the university, and yet there is no job for them to do. The economy is not also helping for them to set up the little things that they could start up with, and to come and know that all those who are administering these countries, majority of them enjoyed scholarship by the country that they are destroying today. It is time for youths in Africa to understand that they need to take the political system seriously. They need to know that when it is time for election, they must vote for people that can bring positive change and not people that give them change in cash for their votes. Africa must elect leaders and not criminals. I sat down and I listened to a narrative about how almost all the political appointees and political bigwigs they call all have one thing in common. Majority of them are not educated. Majority of them got into power using forced and forged certificates. And these are the people. Majority of them have been indicted by one court or the other in other countries and called criminals. These are the people that are ruling Africa. May God deliver us from this combination of criminally minded leaders who call themselves leaders, but yet are nothing more than beggars across the globe, begging for loans when Africa is blessed with human and material resources to transform itself to a great continent. I hope one day you listening to me will take the right decision to become part of the Pacesetters to reform Africa. as I am doing in my own little way. Join me and let's become the pacesetters for African reforms. God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel as we go ahead. God bless you.